Taking your Bronco off-road can be an absolute blast, but the last thing you want to do is damage any parts on it. For example, a lot of people have complained about the factory taillights sticking out too far and interfering while they're wheeling. So Oracle Lighting has came up with a solution, and we're going to check it out in today's video. These are the Oracle Lighting Flush Mount taillights for the 21 and up Ford Bronco. Now these will work for your factory halogen and factory LED model Broncos. The only Broncos they won't work out for is the Bronco Sport and the Bronco Raptor. Now the set that I have in front of us is the Black Series, but they also do sell another set as well that are more of a non-smoked look. Now even if you don't off-road your Bronco, this taillight is still going to be a perfect choice for you. These taillights are much brighter than the factory taillight as far as the brake light goes, and then as far as the reverse light goes, it actually has a 60-watt reverse LED light that's super bright and definitely way brighter than the factory light, so you should have no problems being able to see at night when reversing. Besides the whole lighting part of these taillights, the main part about them is that they are a flush mount taillight. Now if you're unsure of what that means, the factory Bronco taillight sticks out pretty far. So by installing the Oracle taillights, these will actually hug the body of the Bronco and not stick out at all. So with that being said, when you go off-roading with these taillights, you won't ever have to worry about anything hitting them or damaging them since they'll be sucked up against the body. Now let's go ahead, open the cargo area of our Bronco, get these factory taillights out, and get these new Oracle LED flush mount taillights installed. The first step to this process was removing these 3 clips here, and then we'll go to the next part after that. Now come over to the fender flare and slide all of the locks into the unlock position. And once you have everything in the unlock position for the fender flare, just go ahead and pull it off. And if you'd like to see a more in-depth video on how to change your fender flares, I'll link our video down in the description. Once the fender flare is off, then pull on this lower trim below the taillight. With the lower panel off, it will expose 2 bolts, which are going to be one here and then one down here. Go ahead and remove both of those. Next, come right down here below the taillight, and there's going to be one more bolt down here that you need to remove. Now we're going to remove this inner trim piece here next to the taillight. It's held in by clips and it can be a little rough to pull out, but just give it a good tug and it should come out of place. After removing that trim piece, you'll have 2 8mm bolts that are holding on the taillight assembly. Once you have the taillight out, just disconnect the wiring harness. Simply push down on that connector there and pull. So before I go ahead and throw our new Oracle Lighting taillight in, we have to do a couple of things, so I brought my toolbox back over so we can do so. Now the first thing that we need to do is actually remove this clip from the factory Bronco taillight and move it over to our new Oracle taillight. So just grab a flathead, pry up on the bottom here, and then this clip should pop off. Now be careful though, because if you do go to pop it off and you don't have a good hold of it, this clip will go flying across the garage. Once you have that clip off the factory taillight, just put it on the new Oracle Lighting taillight. Down and good to go. After you put the clip in from the factory taillight over to your new Oracle Lighting taillight, it's time to go ahead and figure out how you're going to mount your resistor. Now Oracle Lighting provides some awesome brackets that you can use, or you can end up just using double-sided tape as well. There's really no right or wrong answer here, it's just honestly your own personal preference. Now I'll be honest, I've used double-sided tape to mount resistors for lights in the past, so I'll probably just do that again because I've never found a problem with doing so. Now the only other thing that we have to do is make a slight trim on the trim panel that goes next to the taillight that we took off before, and I'll show you how to do that next. Now if you're working on the driver's side like we are in the video, this is the trim piece to the right of the taillight. And what you actually have to do is trim up this fin here very slightly. Now, I'll be completely honest, ours is already trimmed, and that's because when these Oracle Lighting flush mount taillights were a prototype, we were the ones to try them out, and we were the ones to also realize that you have to make this trim. So go ahead, just grab some snips or anything along the lines of that, or even a Dremel will work, and you're gonna wanna just cut this flap just ever so slightly so that way there's almost a curve in it. Now, if you're looking at this trim piece, you'll see here, this clip goes with this curve, and then the piece you have to cut is right after that first clip, just to kind of help you guys out there at home. So again, like I said, you're just gonna go in and you're just gonna slightly trim it, and I'll trim ours just a little bit more here actually, just to show you guys. Basically, something like that will work, and then this will be able to go back on with the new Oracle Lighting taillight. As far as putting the new Oracle Lighting taillight in, it's pretty simple. We're just going to simply connect our connector here for the wiring harness, and then put the taillight back into its spot. Once you have the Oracle Lighting taillight in place, go ahead and grab your factory bolts and bolt it back down. I gotta say, as I'm bolting this down without even having this fully back together, I am super stoked with how this looks already. Once you have the taillight mounted, go ahead and mount the resistor. Like I said, I'm just gonna use some double-sided tape. Never had a problem with this in the past, so I don't think I'll have a problem with it now. And then I'm just gonna take the resistor, just put it on the side of the Bronco here. This will be out of the way of the trim and everything else. After you have your taillight mounted up and your resistor mounted, just go ahead and start the reassemble process, which I am definitely about to hurry up and do because I can't wait to see what this looks like with everything back together. Before we repeat the process on the opposite side, let's go ahead and do a little side-by-side comparison of the new Oracle Lighting flush mount taillight versus the factory Bronco taillight. All right, so this is with the taillights on, no brake. These are with the taillights off and the brake on. And now we're gonna show you the reverse light. Well, we're all wrapped up with the Oracle Lighting flush mount taillight install on the Ford Bronco, and I gotta say, I am super stoked on these taillights. The lighting aspect alone is absolutely amazing. They look way better than factory, and especially that reverse light. That reverse light is super bright, so I don't think anyone's ever gonna have a problem with backing up at night. Now, of course, the main thing I do love about these is the fact that these are flush mount. Not only are they gonna protect it from hitting anything in the trails, but the flush mounts just look so much better than the factory taillights because they stuck out so far. Now, if you'd like to purchase these taillights, you can buy a set off cjponyparts.com, but I'd love to hear all of your guys' opinion down in the comment section below. Now, it is time to drop a gear and disappear. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you need any off-road parts, just click the link down below in the description.